السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي جعل الشمس والقمر حسبانا والنجم والشجر يسجدان، فضل زمانا على زمان كما فضل إنسانا على إنسان ومكانا على مكان، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد ومكانا على مكان، والصلاة والسلام على نبينا وأعلانا وأولانا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. We begin in the name of Allah, the one who has created the sun and the moon to move in precise calculation, and we send salutation our Nabi, the most close to us, the most highest of us, and our Master Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Welcome to Quranic Arabic Academy, Arabic Grammar Made Easy. Lesson number 9. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. Alhamdulillah, with the tawfiq of Allah, we are learning Arabic grammar. We started with a kalima, and we've learned kalima is 3 types: ismun, fi'lun, harfun. We started with ism, and we've learned ism has 4 properties. First one, al-i'rabu. Number 2, at-ta'yinu. Number 3, al-naw'u. And number 4, al-adadu. And we went through one by one in more details. We've learned all these 4 properties. In the previous lesson, we have learned the properties of a fi'l. A fi'l has 5 properties. Number 1, al-i'rab. Number 2, az-zaman. Number 3, al-naw'. Number 4, al-adad. And number 5, muthbat and manfi. Then we have learned 2 properties of harf, al-i'rab and al-amil. So the 5 properties of fi'l we'll be doing in more details when we start learning fi'l. The 2 properties of harf we'll be discussing when we learn sentences. Alhamdulillah, from today we'll be learning about sentences, how to make a sentence, what are the compounds that we need to make a sentence. We'll be using ism first to make sentences, and we're going to apply all the 4 properties of ism. In this lesson, we're going to learn understand a sentence in Arabic, the 2 types of sentences, and how to make a sentence. So first we start, what is a sentence in Arabic? Al-jumlatu. In Arabic, a sentence is called jumlatun. The plural is jumalun. A sentence is called jumlatun, and plural of jumla is jumalun. A jumla is a combination of kalima from which some information, command, or wish is understood. A jumla can be made of noun and noun, noun and particle and a noun. A jumla can be made verb plus noun. A jumla can be made verb plus noun and plus particle. So if we say in Arabic, we're going to say jumla can be made of ism plus ism, ism plus harf plus ism, fail plus ism, fail plus ism plus harf, etc. So there's many combination of kalimas. We put them together, then we make a sentence in Arabic. So what is a sentence in Arabic? Jumla, and the plural is jumalun. All right, just see who's in the class today. Okay, today's lesson is very important. You must try to understand, and it is very easy. I made it so simple and easy so anyone can understand, inshallah. Now we know what is a sentence and what is sentence called in Arabic. A sentence is called in Arabic jumla. There are two types of jumla. Number one, al-jumlatul ismiyatu. Al-jumlatul ismiyatu. Sentence starts with a noun. Sentence starts with an ism and gives information about the noun. See, the name suggests ismiya means starts with ism. So example, if we this one, Zaydun. Zaydun is a ism. We start with this ism and we want to give information about this ism, and mudarris information. Zayd is a teacher. Al-jumlatul ismiyatu starts with an ism and gives information about that ism. Zaydun, an ism. We want to give information about Zayd is mudarris, teacher. Number two, al-jumlatul fi'liyatu. Name suggests fi'liyatu. Sentence starts with a verb and gives information about the verb. Example, jalasa, the verb, fi'l, gives information about this fi'l. Who's doing it? Al-mudarris. Because the fi'l is a doing word, we get information about the fi'l, means who is doing it. Al-mudarris. Our teacher sat. Who did the action of sitting? The teacher. So the teacher is information of sitting. So this only the two types of jumla we get in Arabic. Number one, al-jumlatul ismiyatu. The sentence starts with an ism. And number two, al-jumlatul fi'liyatu. Sentence starts with a fi'l. Understood these two jumlas? Or two types of jumlas? Yeah. So number one, al-jumlatul ismiyatu. A sentence starts with an ism and give information about that ism. Number two, al-jumlatul fi'liyatu. A sentence starts with a fi'l and give information about that fi'l. Who is doing it? Where did on whom the action took place, etc. Jumlatul Ismiyatu. Normally in English we call the nominal sentence. The subject and the information. Yeah? So in Jumla Ismiya, we're going to have a subject and then we're going to have information about the subject. What is subject? Subject means the thing you talk about. And information, we give more information about it. So we have some words on the left-hand side in yellow color. We have some words like Allah, Muhammad, the boy, the girl, the house. And on the left-hand side in blue color, we have some words. One, a messenger, small, another small, new. So these are the two sets of words. So if you put them together and you say Allah one, still doesn't make sense. We need to link them. We need to link these two words together to give us information or make sense. Muhammad, a messenger, again doesn't make sense. We need to link. Okay? So in English, we need to add a word to link. And that word is, before that, this side of words, yellow color, we're going to make them subject. And on the right hand side words, we're going to make them information. Yeah. So as I said, if we say Allah one, we don't get full meaning of it. We need to add a word to link these two isms together. And the linking word is. Okay. Now if we read Allah is one, now the sentence is complete. We understand the full meaning of it. Next one, Muhammad, a messenger. We need to link these two words together, and the linking word is. Muhammad is a messenger. Boy, linking word is. Now we get the full meaning. The boy is small. The girl is small. House is new. But in nominal sentence in English, we add the is to link two words together to give us full meaning of it. So the subject are the word that we want to talk about, and the information is obvious information we give about that ism. Second, on to giving information about noun. Yes, Allah, the noun. The second one is giving information about Allah. Allah is one. Muhammad, second word, a messenger, is giving information. Yes, Muhammad is messenger. Who is Muhammad? Messenger. So these words are information. More information, more about these words. Boy is small. One kind of information. Boy is old. We can say that. The boy is handsome. All these are information, yes. Jumlatul Ismiyatu. The two slots of Jumla Ismiya. Al-Jumlatul Ismiya is made of two parts. That's it. So we just need two parts to make a Jumla Ismiya in Arabic. The first part is called Mubtada'un. which is starting noun or the subject. Okay, the subject. And the second part is called khabarun, the information or the predicate. So Jumla Ismiya is made of two parts. The first part is called Mubtada'un and the second part is called Khabarun. Mubtada and Khabar. Mubtada and Khabar. Now, we need to apply the rules of Al-Jumla Ismiya. Okay, so there are three rules to apply. Once you apply these three rules, you have a sentence in Arabic. You have a jumla. So what are the three rules? Number one, the first part, Mubtada, is generally ma'rifah. Okay. So you have to start with a ma'rifah ism to make that Mubtada, a definite ism. The second part, Khabarun, is generally nakira. Okay. So when you bring information as a khabar, that has to be a nakira. So what is the first rule? The mubtada is ma'rifah and the khabar is nakira. Number two, the i'rab of mubtada and the khabar is marfu'. Very simple. So we put the ism in place of mubtada, in the slot of mubtada, and we make it marfu'. And the information we put in a slot of khabar and also make it marfu'. Rule number three. Generally, the khabar matches the mubtada in gender and in number. Okay. So mubtada, we can start with anything. We can start with mudhakkar. We can start with muannas. But khabar has to match. If the mubtada is mudhakkar, khabar will match mudhakkar. And if mubtada is muannas, the khabar will match in gender muannas. What about in a number? So mubtada we can start with the mufrad, but khabar has to be also be mufrad. Mubtada we can start with al-muthanna, so khabar has to be muthanna. Mubtada we can start with al-jama', the khabar has to match, khabar has to be also a jama'. Okay, so these are the three very simple rules for al-jumlatul ismiyatu. Number one, the mubtada is generally ma'rifah, the khabar is generally nakira. Number two, mubtada and khabar is marfu. Number three, khabar has to match mubtada in gender and in number. Okay. Now, here al-jumlatul ismiyah. We are going to make some jumla ismiyah here. So before that, what we have learned, let's go through the four properties of ism. Have in front of us, have these four properties of ism. So when we make the mubtada, we have to identify, are we applying these four properties or not? When we make the khabar, we look at it, are we applying these four properties or not? Okay. So number one, at-ta'yin, because we're going to start the mubtada either ta'yin, either ma'arif or nakira. So this is why I had to put the ta'yin first. Then we look at the i'rab. Then we look at the an-naw, gender. Then we look at the adad, number. So let's look at ta'yin first. First, we're going to have a mubtada. Okay. Mubtada. What is the rule we've learned? Rule number one. In terms of ta'yin, mubtada is, and the khabar as well. The second part khabar. The mubtada is ma'rifah. They generally ma'rifah in terms of ta'yin. What about the khabar in terms of ta'yin? The rule is khabar is nakira. Okay. Now, al-i'rab. What is the rule number 2? I'rab. Mubtada is marfu. Khabar also marfu. And now, gender, as I said, we can start. We are not restricted. In terms of gender, we can start either with mudhakkar or either with muannas. And the khabar has to match. Khabar has to match mubtada in gender. Number 4, al-adad. Again, we have a choice. We can start with al-mufrad or al-muthanna or al-jama'. But the khabar has to match. Khabar has to match. Okay. So we put this 4 properties in front of us and we go through and apply the rule. Mubtada in terms of ta'yin, ma'rifah. Khabar in terms of ta'yin, nakira. Al-i'rab, mubtada is marfu, khabar is also marfu. And now, khabar has to match the mubtada. Al-adad, khabar has to match the mubtada. Yeah. Now here I have 8 boxes. We're going to make a sentence in Arabic. So before that, here we have some vocabulary. On the right hand side, we have in yellow color the word Allahu, then qalamun, pen, kitabun, book, babun, door. On the left hand side, we have more words. Ahadun, one. Maftuhun, open. Maksurun, broken. Kabirun, big. So we're going to use these vocabularies to make a sentence in Arabic, applying all the 4 properties of an ism. So what is the first part of Jumla Ismiya called? Jumla Ismiya is made of 2 parts, 2 slots. What is the name of first part? Yes, we have that. What is the name of second part? What do we call the second part? Yeah, second part is khabarun. Khabarun. Yeah. Now let's take a word from the vocabulary. First one, we start with Allahu. Over here, I'm going to write Allah. Go to the 4 properties of ism. At-ta'yin, mubtada is ma'rifah, right? You cannot get more ma'rifah than Allah, the word Allah, yes? Allah is the most known. Right? And in terms of al-i'rab, marfu'un, let's put marfu'. Al-mufrad word shows i'rab with dhamma. We're going to put dhamma. We have Allahu. Our next part, which is khabar, we're going to take one word from the left hand side, which is in blue color. Let's take the word ahadun. We have ahad. Apply the rule of ta'yin. It is nakira. So how do you make a nakira? Tanwin. The i'rab, khabar is marfu. We already have a marfu, ahadun. And now the khabar has to match and now in gender. So ahadun, Allahu, normally we use as a mudhakkar, so it has to follow ahadun. The word Allah is al-mufrad, so is ahadun, mufrad. So we have a sentence in Arabic, Allahu ahadun, Allahu ahadun, Allah one, Allah one. So in English there is no word for is. So where do we get the is? So this is structure. Mubtada khabar structure will give us is automatically. So when we translate in English, we have to use the linking word is. So now we can translate Allah is one. Allah is one. So mubtada is ma'rifa in terms of ta'yin and khabar is nakira. In terms of i'rab, mubtada is marfu, khabar is also marfu. Allahu ahadun. Let's make another sentence. Now again, we need a mubtada, we need a khabar. So let's use the second word, qalamun. Put qalamun here. Qalamun. Apply the rule of jumla ismiya. The rule of mubtada is, first we look at ta'yin. In terms of ta'yin, mubtada is ma'rifa. So how do we make nakira ism into ma'rifa? How do we make nakira ism into ma'rifa? Yes, the qalamun is nakira because we're having tanwin. So how do we make this nakira into ma'rifa? Yes, we're going to add alif lam at the beginning. We need al. What happens when we add al to a nakira ism? Yes, we put in the front, but what happens once we add al to a nakira ism? That's right, we need to remove the tanwin because al and tanwin come together. Okay, and al-a'rab marfu'. So automatically, once we put a dhamma to a mufrad ism, it automatically is in marfu' case. Al-qalamu. So we have mubtada ready, al-qalamu. All we need to look at the ta'yin and the i'rab. Our mubtada is ready. Now we need a khabar. So let's take one of the word from here which matches. Obvious, maftuhun will not match. Maftuh means open. Maksurun can match. And kabirun also can match. Take maksurun. Open. Mim, ma, kaf, sukun, sin, ma, then the waw, and the ra, maksur. Yeah, the word is maksur. Now, apply the rule at-ta'yin, which is nakira. So how do we make nakira? Tanwin, maksurun. Matwa al-i'rab, khabar is marfu. So we have a marfu. Our khabar is ready. Maksurun. Our mubtada is ready. Our khabar is ready. Now, in terms of now, the maksurun is matching al-qalamu because al-qalamu is mudhakkar, so is maksurun mudhakkar. In al-adad, al-qalamu is al-mufrad, so is مكسور مفرد. Our sentence الجملة الاسمية is ready. Now we can read and say القلم مكسور. القلم مكسور. Now we can translate. The pen is broken. The pen is broken. So let's take another word. The, and we need a khabar. We're going to use kitabun. Now kitabun. From beginning, we know now we have to make a ma'rifah. So we start with al kitabu. Alif lam comes and win falls off. Apply the rule of a ta'yin ma'rifah, which we already done it. Number 2, al-i'rab, put it in marfu case, we already done it. Al-kitabu, we have a choice to start with a mudhakkar or muannas. We have chosen to start with mudhakkar, al-kitabu. We have a choice to start with al-adad, al-mufrad, or al-muthanna, or al-jama'. It happens to be we started with al-mufrad, al-kitabu. Now when we bring a khabar, remember in terms of an-naw, in gender, has to match al-kitabu, and in al-adad, the khabar has to match al-kitabu. Now let's take another word from the words here, blue color. What will you go with it? Ahadun, al-kitabu ahadun, no, it doesn't make sense. Maftuhun, yes, possible. Can we make maksurun? Yes, also possible. Can we add the information kabirun? Yes, all possible. Yeah. So let's take the maftuhun. Ma sukun to and have maftuh. Apply the rule of khabar. It terms of ta'yin, which is nakira. So let's make it nakira. Apply the second rule, which is al-i'rab, marfu. We already have a marfu. And now has to match. So al-kitabu is mudhakkar, so is maftuhun mudhakkar. In al-adad, al-kitabu is al-mufrad, so is maftuhun is also mufrad. Our jumla is ready. Now we can say al-kitabu maftuhun. Al-kitabu maftuhun. Translate. Al gives us the meaning. So because it's ma'rifah, we start with the. Al-kitabu maftuhun. What it means? So we have the meaning of a book. Kitabun, book. We're going to say the book. In between, we the linking word is. The book is. We look at the meaning of maftuhun. Open. The book is. Open. Good. Well done. Next one. Then we need a mubtada. We need a khabar. The last one's left. Babun. No, already. Mubtada is generally ma'rifah. So let's make it ma'rifah first. So al-babu. Apply the i'rab, which is marfu, automatically done. Al-babu. Our mubtada is ready. Now we can take any word from here. One word left. Kabirun. Let's make it kabirun. Bir. Apply the rule of khabar in terms of ta'yin. Khabar is nakira. So make it nakira with win. And al-i'rab is marfu. Al-mufrad ism shows i'rab with dhamma. in marfu case. Kabirun. So our khabar is ready. Now our complete jumla is ready. Jumla ismiya. Al-babu kabirun. Al-babu kabirun. Translate. So we know the babun meaning door. We just need to translate al with it. So the door. Put a linking word which is, and birun meaning big. Door is big. Well done, mashallah. So this is a very simple rule to apply when we make a jumla ismiya. Again, very quickly, jumla ismiya has two parts. Number one, mubtada. Number two, khabar. We apply there are three rules. Number one, mubtada, generally ma'rifa, khabar, nakira. In terms of i'rab, mubtada'an marfu, sorry, mubtada'an khabar are marfu. And in terms of al-naw, al-adad, the khabar has to match the mubtada. Okay. Let's look at the slide in more details. We have the chart in front of us, so we can look at it and apply the rules. So here we're going to make al-jumla ismiya. Again, we have two parts in jumla ismiya. First part, because Arabic starts from the right, we have to have the first part here, the right. Second part on the left. What is the name of the first part in al-jumla ismiya? The first slot. Okay, we're going to call this part or slot. The name of the first part is mubtada'un. Second part, what is the name of the second part? The information about the mubtada. Yes. Khabarun. Khabarun. So we need some vocabularies to make a sentence. So we need a word. Again, the word will be ism because we're doing jumla ismiya. So let's see what is the first word. Okay. Allahu. First word, Allahu. Apply the rules by looking at the chart. At-ta'yin. The mubtada is ma'rifa. We already, the lafz Allah is already ma'rifa. And in i'rab, which is marfu, we already marfu. In an-naw, as I said, we have a choice to start with, mudhakkar or muannas. Al-adad, we have a choice. We can start with al-mufrad, al-muthanna, or al-jama'. So I've taken the word Allah, loves Allah mufrad, and the loves Allah is used as mudhakkar. Now we need information about Allah. So let's bring information. Yes, ahadun. Ahadun. Our jumla is ready. So this structure of jumla ismiya automatically will give us the meaning of is when we translate in English. Allahu ahadun. Okay. Allah is one. Next sentence, let's see what word we have. Muhammadun. Apply the rule of mubtada. At-ta'yin is ma'rifa. Al-i'rab is marfu'. Muhammadun. We need the information khabar. Rasulun. The rule of khabar, which is nakira, and in marfu case. And in terms of an-naw, in gender, the word Muhammad is mudhakkar, so it has to match. Rasul has to match so Rasulun is also Mudhakkar. In terms of Al-Adad, Muhammad is Al-Mufrad, so is Rasulun Mufrad. So we have a complete sentence, Muhammadun Rasulun, Muhammadun Rasulun. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a messenger. Al-Waladu, the role, Arifa and Marfu. Al-Waladu, Mubtada is Ma'rifan Marfu. Al-Waladu. We need a khabar, so let's put the khabar in terms of ta'ayyin nakira and in terms of i'rab marfu. Saghirun. The sentence, Al-Waladu Saghirun. Al-Waladu Saghirun. So this structure will give us the is automatically. Boy is small. So we did apply the al-naw and al-adad on khabar. Saghirun is matching al-waladu in naw. Al-waladu is mudhakkar, so is saghirun mudhakkar. In terms of al-adad, al-waladu is al-mufrad, so is saghirun mufrad. Next, al-bintu. As soon as we have the word front of us, we should know all the four properties. Yeah. In terms of an-naw, it is muannas. Al-bintu muannas. In terms of al-adad, it is mufrad. So as soon as we put the mubtada, all of the things should be in our head, so we can put the khabar accordingly. So in terms of at-ta'yin, khabar is kira, i'rab is marfu, now is matching the mubtada. Mubtada is muannas, so saghiratun is also muannas. In terms of al-adad, al-bintu is mufrad, so is saghiratun mufrad. So al-bintu saghiratun, al-bintu saghiratun. The jumla is ready. Now we can translate. Okay, translate. Al-bintu saghiratun. Bintun is a girl. So al-bintu will be the girl, yes. And the structure of Jumla Ismiya, Mubtada and Khabar, will give us the linking word, which is. Girl is small. Let's take another Jumla. First we need Mubtada. Again, we have a choice. We can start with Mudhakkar or Muannas. We can start with Mufrad, Muthanna or Jama. As soon as we put the word, we need to have this chart in our mind. In terms of ta'yin, Mubtadas to be Ma'rifa. So let's make it Ma'rifa. Bayt. Al-Bayt. In terms of i'rab, put it in marfu case. Mufrad ism shows i'rab in marfu case with dhamma. So al-baytu. Al-baytu. Baytun means house. Al-baytu will be the house. The house. Now we need a khabar. So have in your mind, khabar is nakira and in marfu case. And khabar has to match the mubtada in naw and al-adad. So what is al-bayt in terms of gender? Is it mudhakkar or muannas? So if we follow the rules or the signs of muannas, we easily can say al-baytu is, yes, mudhakkar, because we have no signs of muannas, and al-bayt is not naturally muannas, is it? and al-bayt is not body parts in pairs, and it's not muannas sima'i. Arab doesn't use it as muannas, they use it as mudhakkar, so it is mudhakkar. So when we bring the khabar, it has to match in naw and in al-adad. So let's bring a word. Jadidun means new. Jadidun means new. So all the rules of khabar has been applied. So we have a jumla. Al-baytu jadidun. In terms of ta'yin, jadidun is nakira. In terms of i'rab, jadidun is in marfu case. In terms of an-naw, it is matching the mubtada in gender, which is mudhakkar. In terms of al-adad, it is matching the mubtada in terms of al-mufrad. So al-baytu jadidun, we have a complete sentence. So this structure will give us the linking word in English. I can translate. Yeah. Al-baytu jadidun. Yeah, well done. The house is new. House is new. Okay, I hope you understood. Now you can make a jumla ismiya in Arabic. All you need is some vocabularies. Make one of the noun mubtada, make the other noun, which will give information. If it doesn't give information, obviously you cannot bring it as a khabar. For example, you cannot say al-bintu, you cannot say al-bintu waladun, because waladun is not information. Waladun is a solid ism. Yeah? So we need some kind of information that is not a solid ism, like the words we're having here: ahadun, rasulun, saghirun, kabirun, jadidun. Okay. Now, finally, let's recap what we have learned. We are learning jumla. Jumla is of two types. Number one, jumlatul ismiyatu. The jumla starts with an ism. Number two, jumlatul fi'liyatu. The jumla starts with a fi'l. We are going to focus on jumla ismiya for now, and jumla fi'liya later on. Okay, we're going to learn everything about al-jumla ismiya. So we started learning jumla ismiya. Jumla ismiya has two parts. First one is called mubtada'un, and second one is called khabarun. What is the rule of mubtada? It has to be ma'rifa, generally ma'rifa, in terms of ta'yin, and in terms of al-i'rab, marfu'. These are the two things you need to remember for mubtada. Now, what is the rule of khabar? Khabar is nakira in terms of ta'yin. In terms of al-adad, khabar is marfu'. In terms of an-naw, khabar has to match mubtada. In terms of al-adad, khabar has to match mubtada. Okay, very simple. So just go through the video again if you have some questions or you did not understand some part of it, and go through the notes and start making sentences. Practice. Without practice, you're not going to make sentences in Arabic and you will not remember the rules. The more practice you do, the more you will be confident, and in coming lessons, inshallah, in the future, you will be making the sentence automatically. These rules will be in your head, just have to make them, and you'll make sentences automatically. And when we see this structure in the Quran, we know is Jumla Ismiya, and we can translate accordingly. When we read the Hadith and we see this structure, we see an Ism is Ma'rifa, the Ism is in Marfu case, automatically we know is Mubtada. And let's look for the Khabar. The Khabar, you will see a Nakira, you will see in Marfu, and you will see is matching the Mubtada in gender and in number. Very simple. So inshallah, I hope you understood the lesson. It is the end of lesson 9. We pray to Allah to give us a tawfiq and the zeal and the ability to follow these lessons and apply the rules so we can learn more and more Arabic grammar inshallah. So we'll see in the next lesson. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Okay, before we end this lesson, any questions? Will we learn that later? What? Which one are we going to learn later? All right. Vocabulary, look, we can learn from anywhere. Vocabulary, we can learn from the internet, we can learn from YouTube, but we have a 80% of Quranic words. We have a booklet of 80% of Quranic words. So if you learn vocabulary from there, let's say you don't need to learn other vocabularies. So all the vocabularies are there. Okay. Yes, at the moment the website, again, I'm just doing some work on it. So once it's ready again, we'll go back to our website and do everything from the website. So in that website there is a booklet link, you can download it from there. Or you can search on the internet, 80% Quranic words. If you just learn this booklet, that's all you need to understand the Quran. You don't need to learn any new words. So again, inshallah, we'll see in the next lesson. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.